And we are back with another game for Valpo Rocket League, taking on Bradley this time around. So, Valpo just winning 3-0 versus Indiana State, and we are hopping right back into our next series. And this time, Bradley's coming out, starting out hot with a goal by Canadian here.
Yep, welcome back. Welcome back. Again, for those of you who tuned in just recently, Valpo did have a very solid win as a little bit of almost a warm up for this game, being able to go in with a win under their belt. We're going to see how Bradley does, see if they can keep this momentum going into this next game, and hopefully they can keep that going to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, and a very storied history between these two Rocket League teams. So, AMX, who was the captain, strongest player for Bradley last year, is back. And these teams, I believe, have faced about 4 or 5 times, and was the team that Valpo was able to beat in last spring for the NECC championship. And we see AMX getting a goal here, and Bradley starting out strong, going up 2-0 here in Game 1 in this Best of 5 series.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is we're getting a little bit of a rematch here, seeing if they can get their revenge back on Valpo here. Gonna see if we can keep that pressure going, keep that streak going.
And I believe actually their last meeting was during the MVC playoffs, and Valpo lost that one. So they have been back and forth. Valpo arguably winning they won the championship. You know, if I had to pick one to win, that would be the one.
Absolutely.
But this is a much stronger opponent. Than we expected Indiana State going into it, and this is going to be a tight, potentially long series.
A very experienced opponent.
Yeah, and this is going to be.
But there's going to be a really nice shot, by the way, with a nice little flip reset. I believe I got snuck in there. Very nice to redirect that shot. Very clean. And we were talking last game for those who were there about how the fundamentals were the strong suit of Valpo, but showing that we can do the mechanically intensive stuff as well.
Yep.
With Oblivix getting that incredible shot.
Yeah, so Bradley as a team is much more spread out in their skill level. Amex being a super strong player, he actually, and Master Seb, able to even it up. So Valpo able to answer back, ring the bell here, and tie it up 2-2. But AMX is a professional Rocket League player. I believe plays in RLCS or CRL, or is a very, very talented player, one of the best in the Valley. But Valpo is across the board just very strong players. So going to see how that kind of plays into it too, because I do believe there is some skill discrepancy between Bradley players. But once you average out that kind of skill, it creates a very exciting, even competitive matchup for sure.
For sure. I mean, we've already seen such a hot start to the game here. Going down 0-2 and bringing it right back up the tide is Valpo. Seeing this tight competition that we've been talking about with them going up a goal. Bradley is actually up now.
Yeah, so going into this match, we've always had these best of 7, game 7, best of 5, game 5. So would not be shocked to see it here, but being a biased commentator, Valpo fan, it's sometimes nice having that clean 3-0, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case for this series.
Hey, you never know.
We've been back and forth.
To see it.
We're not even halfway through game 1, and we've had a lot of back and forth action here. Valpo looking to answer this goal before this lead starts to get stretched and open up that kind of lead here. So.
Seeing if we can get the momentum down in the middle. Oblivix seeing if he can get past 2 defenders, but not quite able to. Keeping the ball in their half. I mean, that's where it's all going to start, right? Getting that offense built up, but now getting put on the back foot here. Bradley pressing the attack. Jank able to get the clear into their half.
Yeah, and you're already seeing some of these shots, some of these plays that were working in our previous set are not quite working in this one. So have been dealing with much more adversity and a lot stronger defense where, the ball was on Valpo's half, they're on the attacking half 90% plus of the game in their last series, and now they've just been tossing the ball back and forth. Shots are being blocked.
I mean, absolutely, but we've been saying that it doesn't necessarily matter if the shots are being blocked. If even a quarter, even in the third, are going through, the more shots you get on the board, the more you go in. So we'd
Yeah.
like to see this offense here. Master Seb trying to take a shot, but not quite able to make it. Oblivex going for a nice little chip there, but the defenders sending it down mid and putting Valpo back on the defense side.
Yeah, and the longer that this clock does tick down, the better for Bradley. And we have Amex finding another goal here. So Bradley extending this lead to 2 goals, going up 4-2. So Valpo, with a minute 20 left, are going to need to strike back here.
We're going to see how Valpo does when they're not in the driver's seat here. We saw last round they were in the control for the entire game, but now I'm going to see how they can turn it around while being on the back foot. Oblivex tries to go for a shot, but not quite able to sink the shot into the back of the net. Oblivex kind of by himself here on the defense, but Jank able to make his way over to assist.
Yep, and we are getting to the point in the game, 1 minute left, down 2 goals, where Valpo is going to need to make some aggressive plays, go for some double commits, maybe be a little more aggressive on their rotations and not having that last man in the back half. So you're going to kind of see, are they going to be able to find that goal, or is it going to bite them? It's kind of like in hockey when you pull out your goalie at the end of the game to see what the offense is able to do, and then, if they're able to tie it up, put the goalie back in. But we do have Oblivex approaching the goal here. Does get a shot off AMX with the save. 30 seconds left. Valpo needs to find a goal now if they want a chance here in game 1.
And, this is where it starts, being able to stop them from extending that lead, but only 20 seconds left. You're going to have to find a sink goal soon. But Bradley trying to keep that from happening as much as they can. 10 seconds counting down with 2 goals left to sink. This is looking like it is a sealed deal against Valpo. Is this game 1?
Yeah, so game 1 going the way of Bradley. Now that the clock hits 0, won't actually end the game till ball hits the ground, but there's no opportunity to score 2 goals in that time frame. And Bradley will go up 1-0 in this best of 5 series. So the score.
So actually going to be seeing Valpo being behind in this best of 5 here to start out. Not too bad. Of course, it's nothing that's not winnable, but as we've seen with our history with this team, it's going to be a hard-fought win.
Yep. And already know we're going to see this team a couple more times, play them again in the regular season. This might be thinking too far ahead. Probably run into them in the playoffs, but
hey, there's nothing wrong with hoping.
Yep, Master Seb leading the way with 322 points. That time a goal, 2 shots. Only 6 shots for the side of Valpo. Bradley also with 6 shots, but we're able to make 4 goals off those. And we have scores kind of grouped in that 200 to 300 range, and then AMX up there with 650. So definitely leading the way for Bradley. Very strong player for them. So, looking at, potential all conference, conference awards, he's someone on the watch list for sure. So
yeah, absolutely. We're going to see what adjustments we are able to make coming into this game too. We've already seen that we're going to have such strong competition here. What adjustments are we going to make? Because some are going to need to be made.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of just, taking a deep breath, like realizing like, hey, this isn't the same series that we were just in. We got to lock in, play well, because to be able to beat this team, we got to be playing at our best, and vice versa. So Bradley coming out, this was their first game of the day, so each kind of team has a doubleheader, or 2 doubleheaders, I believe. So it's going to be Bradley's first series of the season for them.
Valpo
great start.
Fighting back. Jink with a early goal here. Very, very nice. Showing that they're not out of it yet.
Yeah, I think this is, keys to the game right here is start off with a goal, start off in the lead in this game, be in control of the pace, and kind of set the tone here for game 2. A 2-0 series is a lot different than a 1-1. So Valpo, really important here to take the lead and try and take this game 2. And Jake,
another early goal.
That is big.
Yeah, that is really big. But with the great assists from his teammates as well, we saw the demo earlier, actually managing to displace one of Bradley's players for that defense, able to open up the rotation a little bit, finding these little opportunities to get some advantage in, crawling it back. Every inch matters here. So I like to see that that little bit of optimization here. Oblivex coming up for the ball, keeping the offense here. As you were saying, this momentum is going to be so important. If we can keep ourselves getting those shots onto the board, the more momentum is in our favor, the better we can be in control of the series.
Yeah, so Valpo coming off very strong, 2 quick goals. But understanding how quick those goals can come, you got to be careful here because Bradley could strike back just like that. So Valpo able to clear this ball out, so that's going to be big. But Bradley able to put it back right away, and
Oblivex
another
with
great
a very
save.
nice save.
Another great save. This is the spot that Valpo doesn't want to be in when they're kind of stretching and reaching to make those saves. It, uses a lot of their boost, throws them out of their rotation. So that allows Bradley to keep these shots going, stay on attack, and keep their rotations fluid.
But hey, even though they have to reach for these saves, the fact that they are being saved is what is important. But actually not quite able to, that is the downside of having to reach for those saves. It leaves it open to errors. Even the slightest minute angle off can cost you when you have to play that reactionary.
So those rotations were offset there, and Valpo had to come in from the mid right boost there and just wasn't able to be in the correct position. The ankle going into that save, and that's what happens when a team is on attack and able to push shot after shot. Is you need boost to be able to make those saves. You need to be able to rotate through, and when they have the momentum and keep putting these shots up, it's tough.
They're able to keep that boost economy up.
Yep. Boost economy, yeah, that's actually super important in Rocket League.
Yeah, and we're seeing its effects here. Now Valpo's turn to be on the offense here, but Bradley actually turning it around a little bit just as I say that, trying to get the ball back into their control, their offense, passing to their teammates, trying to get above, just barely being able to miss that aerial shot. Jank with the clear down center. Master Seb,
huge,
able to pass to Oblivex. Huge teamwork there.
Yeah, we're able to stop the bleeding there, get another goal, get that 2-goal lead. A 1-goal lead never really feels safe. Speaking
Having
of
that nice cushion.
Yeah, speaking of the importance of boost, you see these little circles next to their tag? That's actually their boost meter there. So that's new addition to the Rocket League production observer here. So really nice touch because it is such an important mechanic. So if you're familiar with Rocket League, you know how important that is, boost denial, boost economy. So just another little thing to add to your viewer experience if you're familiar with it.
Absolutely.
And if not, you can just not worry about it. You can just watch them play car soccer.
Absolutely. That is one of the reasons I love Rocket League. You can get as intricate and in-depth with it as you want. As a spectator, it can just be car soccer, or it can be an intricate game, an intricate dance of back and forth. And Oblivex looking to take their turn at it, but not quite able to find the goal here with AMX Sadie up in the air. Master Seb challenging and able to get the clear.
Yeah, so 2 minutes left here. Valpo in a great spot in this game. They're traditionally a much lower scoring team than we've seen so far this season. It's usually low scoring games that we see from Valpo. And it's not a matter of like their great defense, although they do have great defense. It's kind of just keeping possession of the ball and waiting for the other team to make mistakes. So we've had much higher scoring games, but a 3-1 is much more similar to what we're usually to see. And Bradley with a great chance here.
Oblivex able to make that save with Jank.
But they're still off rotation here.
Oblivex, it's all on here.
Yep.
And able to find the gap in rotation.
Yeah.
The rotation just got messed up.
You see two people going up for that clear right there. It throws off these rotations, so you had another Valpo player go for it, and eventually that net is going to be open. So.
Yeah. Eventually you're going to run out of people to throw at that ball.
Yeah. Where it's like, they saved it there, but it's like you got to keep holding your breath because,
Absolutely.
So.
But hey, that's the importance that we were talking about being 2 goals up. Now, even though that they did slip up there, it was able to find the goal on Bradley's side. They're still up by 1. They still have 1 more slip up that they're allowed before it even gets to a tie.
Yep. And Valpo historically has been super strong in overtime. I believe in the fall they were something like 7-1 in overtimes.
Oh jeez, what a
They
stat.
were actually undefeated in overtimes the entire season until they ended up losing in the finals, in the NECC finals in the fall. I did not throw out that stat when we were in the finals going into overtime on match point, but that is how we ended up losing. So we
Did
were
not want to
undefeated
jinx
in
it.
overtime the entire season.
Didn't want to jinx it here,
But
but
this team plays phenomenal under pressure. When it matters most, they really step up to the plate. But hopefully we won't even get there because we have about 10 seconds left here, and Valpo just needs one more
jeez,
good clear
what a
here.
power shot, getting that pinch. Okay, all we need is to keep this ball alive for
That's big.
4, 3, 2, 1,
They
and
did it.
down it
Nice,
goes.
nice.
1-1 here, bringing it back. This is exactly what we want to see. We want to see this close game from Bradley. We've seen the history between these two teams, cutting it down to the wire over and over every time they play. So that's what we're expecting here, and glad to see that we're making it
Yeah,
early.
this is much more exciting for from a viewer experience standpoint, but from my like heart rate standpoint and being nervous, I prefer the 3-0s, but we're tied up 1-1 here in this best of 5 series against Bradley, and this is a very important game, right in
Yeah,
week 1 of the season to kind of set the tone for this season
yeah.
in the Missouri Valley Conference, and we're coming off strong, so.
Absolutely, trying to set the tone for the season as a high up there.
Yep.
This is going to be a hard bar to pass, but if we manage to take this win like we've done in the past before, it can set us up really nice with some really great momentum into the
Yep.
season.
And speaking of setting the tone for the season, we're actually I think 5-1 in this program so far. So MVC Overwatch undefeated, Gleck Overwatch undefeated 2-0, Smash Gleck undefeated 2-0, and our League of Legends team unfortunately 0-1 in C-Law. But we have 24 games this week. So
Jeez.
we have MV on stream. You guys are going to see MVC tomorrow. We got Smash, and then we're also going to have our first ever Valorant game on Thursday at 6 o'clock. And I believe that, that's also going to be versus Bradley as well. And then Friday got some games, Saturday got some games. I'm going to be traveling up to Chicago on Saturday. So a lot of things happening, and you guys can definitely catch us live about every evening, Monday through Saturday for the next 2 or 3 months.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Make sure you guys try to tune in for those as we tune back into this set. Bradley and Valparaiso going at it game 3, 1-1, trying to set themselves up to be in match point. The winner of this game is going to be sitting at match point, and Bradley going in with a pretty early lead, 1-0 here.
AMX with the goal here with an assist from Wico. Wico, another one of those players coming from that previous Bradley roster. I believe Canadian is new this academic year. We did see him in the fall, but wasn't playing on that team back in the spring. But Canadian had a very big game in game 1. But AMX definitely the player to watch out here for Bradley. You got to shut him down. If you're looking for someone to demo, that's definitely the person to target.
Yeah, I've seen him get demoed a couple times already,
Yeah.
so looks like that adaptation has already been made. Oblivix trying to get the follow-up on Master Seb's shot, but not quite able to find it, just barely misplaced. Oblivix missing that goal, but Jank able to keep it up, follow up on the miss, was ready to cover for his teammate, keeping the ball in their half, but Valpo getting put into the defense position here. This is where we've seen it kind of be shaky for Valpo, is when they're put on the backseat, which is exactly what Valpo wants to do to them, right? We're seeing this battle of aggression here. Who's going to be the one to come out on top on the aggressive side?
Yeah, and I thought Valpo had a much more complete, well-played game in Game 2. And Bradley starting off with the goal. The first goal always feels like a very important goal in the game because, now Valpo's coming from the back foot and playing from behind. So Bradley able to set the pace and answer back here. So would really like to see Valpo find the second goal of this game would be super important because you want to keep it tied because that two-goal lead is where it starts feeling a little better, a little comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, that first goal, it sets your win condition, right? It gives you another option to win the game. You can either win the game by keep scoring, or just if that next goal just takes longer and longer, all it does is benefit you because you win via time. So that first goal really sets the pace of the game of whether you can afford to be playing more defense or not. Because even if Bradley has to play more defense, as long as it doesn't score, they win off of that trade. So this first goal, as you said, is so important. Valpo trying to get the turnaround. Jank trying to get the double tap, but not quite able to find it. Oblivix not quite able to keep the pressure up. Master Seb able to get the challenge, though.
that kind of methodology reminds me of Dwerva and Smash. It's like, yeah, if I just take first stock, I could just win via time.
Hey, the same concept applies as Master
Huge
Seb
goal.
gets that tap in. That that matters a lot. The first goal matters so much in setting the win con, but so does the second, because the second goal of the game, it either sets you up 2-0 or it ties it up. And this is just what we want to see, tying up. Now it has been reset to neutral. We can see whether Valpo can get this next goal in. If Valpo is able to get this next goal, first they have to defuse this situation. But if they only get this next goal, that advantage switches to their side.
Yes, series and game score tied up 1-1. This is a much more typical Bradley Valpo Rocket League here. Is great defense and just a low scoring. Like this is what we're kind of accustomed to seeing between these two teams.
A low-scoring game just means that it is neck and neck, which is just what we want to see, no matter what. I mean, of course, totally unbiased commentary. We definitely want to see a Valparaiso
I mean, you guys
win.
tuned into Valpo Esports on
Exactly.
Twitch, not MVC or
Yeah,
College Esports. This is
But-
Valpo Esports channel. So
of course.
got to give the hat off to Bradley.
Yeah.
They are a very respectable team, but at the end of the day, we're cheering for Master
Yeah,
Seb.
at the end of the day,
And there
we
he
want to
goes.
see that right there is Master Seb scoring, but as much as we want to see Valpo win, a close game is quite fun to watch. We see Master Seb able to just sneak that goal in there. And now the favor has turned to Valpo's side here. That same concept they were talking before now is in Valpo's favor.
And
now that time is a win condition for Valpo. We see a double demo there. So both teams playing a 2v2 for a couple seconds.
And I was going to say there's much less time on the clock this time around, so that becomes much more of a reality for sure. Minute left here. It's hard to come with words when it feels so intense. Jank with a great shot there. Canadian able to find the save. And Valpo on attack here. See if Oblivious able to put a shot up.
Ooh, both
This could be scary for Valpo. Master
this
Seb
is
needs to make a
scary.
stop. Gonna be
Master
one-on-one here. And
Not
Amex
quite able to save it.
able to chip it over. Yeah, you see that double commit there, just a miscommunication, a rare misstep mistake from Valpo. Master Seb and AMX on a little 1v1 there.
Yeah, now it's reset to neutral. We'll see how much that little mistake's going to cost. When you're playing at this level of the game, these slight little miscalculations, however small they may be, can end up being so costly. When you're playing at this high level, mistakes can mean so much.
Yeah, and being a shooter in that scenario, you're definitely in an advantage state for sure. Kind of just like traditional soccer and PKs, there's so many different options. You can flip right, flip left, go up, go down. So AMX able to find the back of the net on that one. We were 10 seconds left here, tied up 2-2.
So it looks like we might be looking to test Valpo's mettle in the statistic you mentioned earlier in their overtime gameplay.
Oh boy,
this
this is an extremely important next goal for the series here.
This next goal determines who is sitting at game point for this set, because both teams tied. The match score might be 2-2, but the game score is tied at 1-1. This next goal will determine who is sitting at match point, who's sitting at the game advantage.
Valpo with
some scary offense here, almost being able to score the goal really soon in this overtime. But hey, we're seeing this gameplay not losing our cool. Now it is time to be in the back foot here on the defense. Jank up in the air for a long while. That's kind of scary, puts him out of play for a minute. But Oblivix and Master Seb able to cover that gap here. Just trying to get this clear.
This is scary for Valpo.
That was an opening. There it is. AMX Sadie able to complete it. So actually it looks like it's going to be Bradley going up in game 3. So now sitting at match point.
Yeah, and Bradley going to be up 2-1 in the series now. Valpo unfortunately falling in overtime there. So that was a very, very important game in the series. Taking a look at the post-match screen, we do see AMX with the hat trick. Absolute staggering amount of points, significantly outpacing the whole lobby and definitely his team for sure too. Up to 852. That is very high for a low-scoring game like that.
Yeah, but as you were saying that this game was so important, so now we're going to see Valpo have to make a little bit of a comeback here. Definitely not impossible. We've seen it before.
Hmm.
I mean, of course, somebody has to, at the end of the day, somebody has to win the game there. So whether it was Valpo or Bradley, no matter what, this next game, gonna be critical. So
Yep.
now it's just going to be Valpo on the bit of a back foot, but we've seen them on the back foot before, and they can do it. So we're going to see what adaptations are going to be made here.
Yeah, I mean these games are coming down to like these very little, small details for sure. Like all these, little mistakes or little adjustments can really make the difference in the end result. I mean, this team has seen each other so many times, and they're so closely matched in skill and talent. So all these little adjustments, these little things they can tweak, are really going to make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Playing at this high of a level, these little mistakes can mean so much, but so can the little expressions of skill. I mean, you said we're so evenly matched. We've seen it here. Any little bit counts with Oblivix getting the early goal here. And as we talked about before, that first goal, as important as it is, goes to Valpo's side.
Yeah, I believe we have had the first goal scorer win the game each time. Or did No, Valpo scored first last time, didn't they?
No, actually.
Oh, they
So
didn't.
no,
Okay.
I believe
Yeah.
that trend
Yeah,
is
that
correct.
stat is true. It's funny I throw out these stats, but they're just like, yeah, we have been putting together a little bit of a stat book. So hopefully, we can really have that hammered down by the end of the year. Have some of these historical stats so we can look back and be like, okay, when have we played this team? What was this series score? Where right now I got them in the backlog of my head, but it's like 80 to 90% accurate.
Hey, I mean, these stats are helpful too. Like,
Yeah.
sure, it's nice to look at and it's great to be able to say, but it also can tell the players what they're doing well and what they can work on. It's beneficial, so they have something to be based off of. And seeing if they can get this offense going. Now a little bit out of position for this defense. This is scary for Valpo. Master said being able to get that clear with the challenge in the air. Just looking to get this ball back on their half. I mean, as we've seen so far, the team that has had the offense for a sizable time is the one that wins the game. So we're going to see if Valpo can keep the pressure on Bradley. An incredible shot here, but almost able to make it.
3 minutes left here. These games do go by much quicker when they are low scoring. There's no like breaks and pauses. Like we're almost halfway through the first game. And we've seen a lot of action, just not a lot of like actual goal scoring, but there's so much going on. It's such a fast-paced game, and it's just a pleasure to watch these two teams play each other, and our Rocket League team in general is definitely one of the favorites to watch. I know for me and you both, so this is
absolutely
great.
Going up for this aerial challenge here. And this is what I want to see. Valpo has been in the offense seat for most of this. Getting the nice demo. We'll see if that opens up anything, but actually not quite able to find the gap. I mean, a demo opens up the defense for only a small amount of time. That respawn timer is so short in Rocket League. And I've actually seen sometimes where the respawn can put them right in the spot they need to be in to save.
Yeah, so just past that halfway mark in the game, and Valpo so far holding on to this 1-0 lead, but Canadian with a great shot there. Valpo able to make a stop, but Bradley's starting to be on the attack here, getting a couple shots. AMX will pass the ball to Canadian for another shot.
But all three of Valpo's players on the same side of the goal, very quickly trying to reposition, is Oblivix and Jank, but able to get in positions here. We've got to get those rotations sized back up. Gets past Jank, but not past Master.
That's what Valpo needs right now. Is they need like a true clear. Get that ball out of there. Be able to reset here. Get on offense. And that demo is not going to help them too much. Bradley is able to clear the ball out. Oh,
Oblivix does manage to get that touch here, but looking a bit shaky. Jank gets demoed here. So now Valpo being in the 3-2 situation to make this defense, but
Jake right off the demo, able to come back with very little boost and get a good hit on the ball. Valpo able to find a clear.
Yeah, when you do get demoed, you do respawn with some boost. I believe
just a tad, not enough.
I think it's 33. I'm not 100% sure how much boost he's going, but it's roughly a third of the tank, so it's not all that much.
You start from like a standstill too, where you always want to be moving, keeping your momentum, like literal momentum, like your speed.
Yeah.
So it takes a while to kind of speed up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So Luckily, I think he almost had low boost when he got demoed, though, so actually might have helped in the boost economy a little. But trying to keep this goal economy in our favor as well. See, as this time keeps ticking down, we're almost at 30 seconds left with Valpo being up and being up
Huge!
2.
Big
That's
goal.
massive here. This sets the tone. Bradley has 30 seconds to score 2 just to get into overtime here.
Man, we needed that one.
This really sets it in Valpo's favor here.
We needed that one. I felt like I was on the edge of my seat for like 3 minutes of Valpo being very close to getting scored on, and that is so big to be able to find that little window in Bradley's defense and go up 2-0 here in Game 4. Woo! Oh, that could have been scary.
That definitely could have been Majenk there with the very quick save, able to just barely put himself between the goal and the ball. So now this timer ticking down as it whittles away Bradley's chance of being able to end the set here. Valpo's looking like they were fighting for this Game 5.
Yeah, man, this is such a classic match.
And
I'm like,
is.
this is awesome.
Absolutely, this is one for your history books, Henry. As you,
I just love. This has got to be like the best, like 2-team like history, and you know it's funny too because like you know we had played these teams so many times, and when we had that MVC lane, it was the first time actually meeting these people in person. Actually, really great guys. I know they. The players off the pitch outside of competition, they play together, have a little social time as well. But I mean, man, this is such a pleasure to just be able to watch these two teams clash.
yeah. I mean, of course,
it always goes to the last game.
Yeah, from what I have heard, yeah. I mean, as much as we would love to see the Valpo easy sweeps, we do really enjoy watching the close games. And here we have a close game here. Game 5 of this set. The winner takes all here, coming in with the start of the kickoff. Valpo starting off on the defense, almost having a Rule 1 there, but able to escape it.
Rule 1 with AMX, we definitely accept that rule.
So we'll see if Valpo can get their footing here and get the early goal. That's what we really want. We want to see a repeat of the last game. Valpo getting that first early goal, setting the tone, setting the momentum. That little
made-up potential stat has stood true so far in this series. So first goal going to be big here.
Absolutely. We'll see if Oblivix can get the ball in the right position. Not quite able to there, but the more they hammer at this defense, the more they're able to keep this pressure up, the more likely they are to find a gap. But Bradley's turn now with Valpo on the defense here.
Yeah, and you know, we've also had lower scoring games each game too. So as these teams become more accustomed to each other, they're starting to learn their little, you know, adjustments, things that they've been switching up since, you know, it's been a few months since we've played these guys. So wouldn't be surprised if we get another low score. I mean, we are already about a third of the way through this one, tied up 0-0. This first goal, that just gives it that much more importance for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, the lower the scores, the more impactful each individual one is. With an open goal here, but Master Seb able to close that up real quick. I mean, like we saw with the game earlier, I mean, Valpo was just up so much that even when they scored, it wasn't really impactful. When it's a low-scoring games like we've been seeing, each one matters a lot, and especially this first one here.
Yeah, and we really need Valpo to slow it down, focus on the fundamentals, take a deep breath. You know, it's been a while since they've been in a high-intensity Game 5 game. You know, it's been a few months for them, and you know, this is just a really, really important game, not only for the series, but also just set the tone for the season. Being able to play a strong opponent in week 1, and you know that win or loss is going to matter when it comes to postseason seeding, qualification, things like that. But we're about halfway through this one, and Valpo on attack here. Jank finding the shot and a demo, so Valpo definitely going to be in quite an advantage state here. So Master Seb going to try and center this ball.
Is he able to find it? Not quite. Almost able to find it by passing between all the Valpo players, just trying to work together. Valpo's going to be in a bad
spot now.
Trying to get that clear, not quite able to get it past the half court.
Oh, and this could
trying to get the redirect.
Fablivix was able to get that redirect, that could have been a goal for Valpo right there, but just skimmed the bottom of his car, wasn't actually able to make contact. 2 minutes left here, still tied up 0-0, and we are eagerly anticipating who is going to crack that seal on Game 5 here.
And it's such an important seal it is. Like, we've talked about how important the first goal is. The longer it takes to score that first goal, the more important it becomes, because it puts the team without it on the back foot even more. So hopefully Valpo can find the opening here with their offense. Hopefully they can keep this pressure up.
Minute 30 left here, and I'm starting to we need to get like a live heart rate monitor on the stream. That's one thing I want to add before the end of the year. Maybe just as a joke for one time, but
Master
man, it is
Seb,
intense.
if you saw that circle you're talking about, Master Seb was out of boost for that save. So that was very scary there of a save to go for, but able to clean it up.
Okay, he gets a touch on it. I thought he was going to whiff on that one, but getting the touch is super huge and able to go up. It's going to go off the back here. Oblivix not going to be able to find that one. Jank with a huge hit. That could have spelled disaster for Valpo.
Absolutely. Any small mistake here on either team could spell the end of the set. So gotta be careful, gotta keep it tight. There's the goal attempt, but not quite able to find it. AMX Sadie there for the save on Bradley's behalf.
Yeah, this director cam sometimes, like the depth perception on this game sometimes throws me off so hard. That was one of them. I thought that was going in. And now Bradley on attack here. Only 30
seconds left and not a goal scored. This has been a absolute game changer, absolute tug of war of pressure, of momentum here, going back and forth with no one being able to find that first handhold.
10 seconds left here. If it is tied up, we'll end up going to overtime. Bradley is going to get shot off here. Looks like both teams will be content with going to overtime, maybe.
Maybe not, but
all right, overtime, Game 5.
We're gonna see if your stats pay off as we go into overtime, Game 5. You cannot ask for a closer game than this. Overtime, Game 5, 0-0. This is as close as it gets.
Oh,
almost.
I wish the goal was, a little wider there. Man, and this kind of other stat that's so true is these lower scoring games. And Valpo's going to be on defense now. Bradley getting a little bit of an advantage here, going to be off the back net. And
there it is. Bradley able to find the back of the net before Valpo is. With such a close Game 5, absolute heart-wrencher to lose there. But hey, incredible showing from Valpo. Sadly not able to take the win, but still able to put up an incredible fight. And as you said, we'll see them again for a minimum of one more time.
Man, that one's going to sting for a while. We're already looking forward to playing them. I think 5 weeks from now. Man, that was crushing.
Yeah,
I was on the edge of my seat for the whole game. But I mean, a very well played day for Valpo Rocket League. Finishing the day 1-1. Hats off to Bradley. Very strong team and solid performance from them tonight. And we'll be back. So we'll hopefully get another chance at them. And that'll do it for tonight's stream. Wednesday we got MVC Smash, and then we got our first ever Valorant game Thursday. Make sure you guys tune in for those. It's been a pleasure. You got any closing thoughts?
Just make sure to tune on in later this week. We got a ton of action coming in for you. So thank you guys for watching today, this close game, and we'll see you later this week.
See ya.